Hey everybody, Craig DeLuz here at the Gun Rights Policy Conference 2016. I'm here with Mark Walters with Armed American Radio and Armed American Radio's Daily Defense Radio shows. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know you had a busy day moderating yesterday.
It was a long day. Yes,
oh my
sir.
God, the number of people who got up and spoke. I mean, we're talking with a plethora of information, and each one had about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That had to be a challenge.
It was tough. It was challenging because Julianne usually handles the moderating duties, and I stepped in. And those were some big shoes to fill. It wasn't easy to do, and you're here with a lot of people who have an awful lot to say, and they like to hear themselves talk about what it. I mean, they're here to talk, and 5 minutes goes by very quickly, and to have to stand up there and tell them that their 5 minutes is up when they haven't even begun is a very difficult job. But we got it off okay. It was fun.
Tell us how you got into doing your radio show.
Oh gosh, how much time do we have? It started with like the Gun Rights Policy Conference or the Second Amendment Foundation or anything else. It started with an idea, and the founder of the United States Concealed Carry Association and I, Tim Schmidt, were sitting and talking at a SHOT Show back in Orlando, not too far down the road from here. And we kind of came up with the idea of maybe we can bring Concealed Carry magazine to the airwaves. And that idea was born, and about 2 or 3 weeks later, just by coincidence, I was asked to be a guest on a radio program in Cleveland. The wheels got to turning, and about 4 short months later, Armed American Radio was on the air as a 1-hour program in the city of Atlanta, heard inside just the perimeter. Right. Since that time, 8 years ago, Armed American Radio has exploded to 2 national programs, heard now in hundreds of cities on just under 200 radio stations, and growing like a weed. The voice of freedom. Gun owners don't have a voice out there. We all know the media distorts the story of guns and gun rights. And Armed American Radio, I think people have found a home, because I'm not the nice guy on the radio. I call it what it is. I don't bring the other side to the show. I talk about them, not to them. And that's refreshing to a lot of gun owners to have their voice heard without the noise of the other side coming in and creating a debate where really no debate exists as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, one would think, the Second Amendment says thou shalt not infringe.
Right.
I don't understand what the debate is.
Well, the debate ended December 15th, 1791, as far as I'm concerned. There is no debate. And what the problem we have, and I think it's a great point to make, is that we allow the debate to be had by not stopping it. When we engage the other side, we give them credibility that they don't deserve and they haven't earned. Now, I'm not saying that we walk away from the conversation. We have to. They're well-funded. They make a lot of noise. We have to answer that. But it's how we answer it. And I think Armed American Radio has done a pretty good job at that.
Well, and I think it plays into the aspect of, people think of the Second Amendment as a right, but it's not a right. In other words, it's not a right that should be treated like all of the other rights. And largely it's because it's a right that a large segment of the American population has chosen not to avail themselves of.
That's interesting, because it's a human right. It's not a right created by man. It's a human right recognized in our founding documents. And I took advantage of that right, armed here, not too far down the road, about 3 miles as the crow flies, back in 2002 when I used a firearm to defend my life. I never had to pull the trigger. I went home alive that day. But it's a right that we all possess as human beings that's recognized in our Constitution uniquely.
Now, you talk to folks from all over the country. What are you seeing right now that's changing or new or different that people need to pay attention to in the gun rights movement?
Fear. People are very afraid. We're right before the election, as you know, and I hate to be able to answer that question as quickly as I did. But people are scared because we don't know what's going to happen in a few short weeks. We don't know what on either way. We know where Donald Trump stands. We all know. Some people say they don't know where Donald Trump stands. We all know where Hillary stands.
Right.
If she wins the election, it's fear. I've never seen it like this in the community in all of the years I've been battling for gun rights.
It's interesting that you say that, because there are many people. I've said this before. I'm not a huge Donald Trump fan, but right. I always say this: even if you don't know where you stand with Donald Trump, we know exactly where we stand with Hillary Clinton and the Second Amendment, and we know that she is. The first time I've ever heard a president just out and outright say that they're going to appoint somebody right. who does not believe that who doesn't believe in the Second Amendment as has been historically
She
understood.
Will eviscerate our right. You're absolutely correct. She will eviscerate our right. She's running her campaign based on it. And while a lot of people don't like Donald Trump, I love what he's brought to the table. I like the excitement he's brought to the table. Mm-hmm. I like the in-your-face he's brought to the table. And what he's doing, I think he's answering the frustration that millions of Americans have had about the establishment. We gave you opportunities twice, 3 times to work for us, not because we love you, but because you were the alternative to what we have, and you failed us. And along comes Donald Trump. I think it was natural. It was a natural outgrowth of people's frustrations. And this community, the gun rights community, I have never seen as active as it is right now, and I hope it translates very well to the election.
I'm assuming that everyone can probably just Google Armed American Radio and find you, but what's your specific website? How can they find you to tune in or find a station in their local area?
The website is armedamericanradio.com or .org. We've got you covered. Facebook.com/armedamericanradio. Join the over 95,000 fans. We do not buy likes. We do not buy fans. We do not boost posts. That's 95,000 of you that are real, true fans. Twitter @AARMark, and I hope to see you there. We need all the help we can get.
Everybody, once again, this is Craig DeLuz coming at you live from the Gun Rights Policy Conference 2016. We'll be right back with more interviews. If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.